Hi everyone, I'm Shehzhadee and I'm the Managing Director of Shehzhadee Law Corporation. I practice criminal law amongst my other areas of practice. Today, I will be sharing a little bit about drug trafficking laws in Singapore under the Misuse of Drugs Act. Now, when I say drug trafficking, what comes to mind? Many of us may think of a drug peddler peddling drugs at some ulu lorong somewhere. Or you may think of a very complicated syndicate where you have a kingpin at the top, various layers of drug peddlers, and then finally at the bottom of the chain, your drug consumers or your drug abusers. What if I were to tell you that under the law, the definition of drug trafficking is far broader than simply selling for profit? Under the law, the definition of drug trafficking includes to sell, to give, to deliver, to administer, to send, to transport. By way of example, let's say we have a drug abuser, let's call him John. Now John always smokes cannabis, also known as weed. And John calls his friend Chris to come over to his house to hang out and get high together. Now John's act of sharing the drugs with Chris is in fact trafficking, even though there's no sale and there's no money involved between the both of them. Let's go back to the example of John and Chris. Now John has phoned Chris to come over for them to smoke drugs together. At the time John told Chris that he's going to share the drugs with him, that already constitutes drug trafficking because it's an offer to give, an offer to traffic. Remember, traffic also includes give. You don't have to wait for Chris to actually come over to John's place and smoke the drugs for John to be liable for drug trafficking. Drugs such as cannabis, methamphetamine, otherwise known as ice, or diamorphine, otherwise known as heroin. These are all Class A drugs. And for Class A drugs, the minimum sentence for a first-time drug trafficker is 5 years imprisonment. So John's act of simply sharing drugs with Chris, even though he doesn't benefit financially from it, may make him liable for at least 5 years imprisonment. So guys, sharing is not always caring. I'll see you in the next video.